So now we're going to bust into, yes, clickbait. Hold on, don't hang up yet, or whatever you do. Click out? I don't know.
Yeah, don't swipe and delete or whatever.
Swipe up. All right, here we go. We're going to bust into just a tad bit of clickbait. There is all kinds of shit going on. With Matt Reeves making this comment on a podcast on our Instagram, I encouraged people to listen to the actual podcast and kind of come up with your own conclusion, because I don't think anybody in the media or anybody at all on an Instagram page should be telling you what it says.
Right.
Just come up with your own and have an opinion. That's what we do, right?
Nope.
No? We have to be
Clearly
told?
not, yeah.
We have to be told what to say
Clearly
and
not.
do? I guess. I don't know. I just made it pretty clear, cut, and simple. Listen to the podcast. Listen to his words. Come up with your own opinion.
Mm-hmm.
That was it. That was all we said. But I saw a bunch of people saying, no, he meant this. I'm like, you don't know what the fuck he meant.
Right.
But you're going to, even if it was like a positive point for DC, like, no, he means like Wonder Woman and stuff. I saw a bunch of people say that, which was my opinion of it when I listened to it. But people were like, no, he meant this. And I'm like, no, you don't know what he meant. You can have an opinion towards that.
Right.
But that's it. That was my thing. I got so mad on either side. People that were like, oh, this is true, or oh, this is going downhill, and blah, 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 or oh, no, it's just like Wonder Woman. It's just not going to be obligated to the DC universe. I'm like, no, you don't know what he meant.
Right.
You can just say that this is my opinion. I feel like it's this or this or this, and then end it there. There is no, other than Matt Reeves and probably Ben Affleck and some fucking executives with dicks up their asses at WB, you don't know what they're going to do even after those comments. All right. Those were comments from a month-old podcast. That was the other thing. It's like, wow, way to get on it, motherfuckers. Like,
that's always what, especially,
they're just digging for
yeah, exactly.
shit.
Yeah. Especially now. And I'm surprised that enough people haven't realized the constant like circulation of bullshit that comes out.
Right.
I saw this again. I was on Instagram. I don't know who it came from, but I saw this really cool thing of people talking about all the bullshit that was for Batman v Superman and I believe for Wonder Woman as well. Just stuff saying like, oh, this is how Lex Luthor is gonna be bald, and this is how this is gonna happen. This is how this is gonna happen. And I remember I think I may have told you this, or I brought it up on one of our podcasts. When Man of Steel first came out, and I was so just consumed by all the rumors, and I was believing them, but in a different way. I was just kind of like, oh my gosh, is that true? You know, but I wanted to hear everything. Mm-hmm. Now I'm a little bit more evolved, I guess. And this guy, I wish I saved the link or something, but he had this website. I think it was a blogging website where he compiled a list of everything that was rumored about Man of Steel. This is obviously way before people love to shit on DCEU. This was, long before that, of rumors of like the script, how it's going to be, the origin, all sorts of different things. And then at the very end, he gave it a score of like the percentage that was actually right. And he even would link like, okay, here's the article. You could see it. This is who it's from. And then it was like 4% or something like that was right. 4% It was something like that. It was definitely single digits between like 4 and 8% that was right. And this was, again, before people wanted to find shit just to talk about, before clickbait. I'm sure clickbait was a thing, but before any of that, all the information.
Before the DC became a hotbed of clickbait.
Exactly. Thank you. So before all of that stuff, still a very, very small percentage, less than 10% that was being put out there was right. So that shows you how much you can really buy into all these websites. And that was from 2013. Now people love to do it. People love to put out these hot taglines on
unwatchable.
Right.
By the way, that pussy never tweeted me back. I put out a very, very reasonable argument, and that pussy never tweeted me back. Oh, massive rewrites? There's 3 writers. Zack Snyder, Joss Whedon, who just came aboard, and Chris Terrio. Wow, look at Wonder Woman. There was only 3 writers.
Right.
Oh my God. And Wonder Woman was such a mess, right? And like, he never got back to me. I was like, how can you say there's massive rewrites when Joss Whedon just came on board? So that means there was only 2 writers. That was Zack Snyder and Chris Terrio. That's it. I mean, obviously there's probably other people out there helping them with this, but credited writers. Right. It's not like if there were 6 writers on this, then I would believe you that there's massive rewrites. Right. That there's problems going on. There's trouble in Tokyo.
Well, but go to, I've never heard that before.
Neither have I.
But going back to Man of Steel, I think they had 4. I want to say they had, Zack Snyder had some input. Deborah Snyder had some input. Chris Nolan had some input, and then
those are producers. Was he writing a credit?
I think he was credited for writing. I'm pretty sure. I know they were producers, but and then it was mainly Nolan that was a writer, correct? And who was the other guy?
I don't remember.
I'm blanking. Yeah, but there was a couple. There was a couple people who had input and were kind of like, okay, this is the direction we want to go, and on the script. And I'm almost positive they were credited writers. So it just kind of, it depends. Yeah, I think there's definitely when...
and Zack Snyder is probably just there because he's the director, just like Joss Whedon.
Yeah.
It's like just a couple inputs so he gets a writing credit.
Right.
And so that's probably all those in. So Chris Terrio is the main bulk, in this case anyway, with Justice League. He's the main bulk of, or the main source of the writing.
Right.
So what, one guy is doing all these massive rewrites after he just wrote it?
Yeah.
It's so stupid. It's so asinine. And it just, I pointed that out. That guy never said any fucking word back to me. Even though
shocking.
Yeah. He never came back with anything reasonable. And so, and the massive reshoots and shit like that. Okay, well, there's been a lot of issues going on. There's people that are pregnant, people injured, people doing other movies. Yeah, it's poor timing. Say that it's poor timing, not just that it's that they're having fucking issues making a good movie. Right. It's just bad timing. They didn't schedule their proper reshoots. Like they should have.
Yeah, exactly. And people say, I've read so many different people, especially after all this stuff is coming out on reshoots, of how many reshoots they have to do for lower budgeted movies. I'm pretty sure Ben Affleck said one of his movies that obviously wasn't the scale of Justice League or Batman v Superman or anything, had to do like 2 weeks of reshoots, 2 or 3 weeks, something like that. And he was saying like that's for something that's so low budget, compared to this. And so it just happens. It's normal.
And Gal Gadot was talking about some of her reshoots. She literally had to wear the Wonder Woman costume while she was pregnant.
Oh, fuck.
Did you hear about this?
No.
And she wore the Wonder Woman costume, and they cut a hole in the middle for her stomach. And they put a green screen thing over her stomach. So it's going to, you're talking about mustache gate. What about belly gate? All right. Where's that one? No one talked about that one. I saw that in that Rolling Stone article, but no one ever talked about that one. No, they want to talk about fucking Henry Cavill's mustache.
Yes, mustache gate. Oh, man. Did you see the amount of people that were believing, I think even on our post, when you posted the Shazam script, the amount of people that believed that was real was just mind-boggling. Or who we thought it was real.
It's fake.
And, no shit.
I was like,
oh my gosh.
Calm down, dude. It's obviously the guy's putting some stuff out there. He's having fun with the script.
Yes, it was fantastic. I love it.
Yeah, I love when directors can't even have fun, because I bet so many people probably took it too seriously.
Yeah.
So, real quick, to conclude this whole thing, or not conclude it, but just to kind of wrap where we're going with this, because we jumped off target like usual. But
yeah, per usual, we get fired up.
The big reason why I even wanted to bring this clickbait up, even though not just to bring up the clickbait and try to debunk it or whatever, that bullshit, we've done enough of that. Yeah. I was just talking about the mindset of people and just not being able to formulate your own opinion from what you read. That's what I was more concerned about with this. Wasn't necessarily debunking clickbait. Who cares? I don't, at this point, who cares anymore? It's just like people need to come up with their own opinion. And I just feel like I went back to the source. When I was hearing this about Matt Reeves, before I ever even thought about anything, when I first heard it, I went back to the source. I looked up the podcast, The Business, with some chick. I forgot her name now. Something Masters. I can't remember her name. But anyway, and I listened to it. And it was like, it was like a 30-minute podcast, which you'll never see here on Comic Movie Marks, as we're at the 56-minute mark.
Right, yeah, pretty much.
and then she was the last 24-minute mark is when they talked about Batman. Like, it was seriously and then they had commercials at the end, so it was 4 minutes dedicated to talking to him about Batman. Mm-hmm. And they just pulled so much out of that and made so much up, and he was just glancing through and just doing it, and you could tell she kind of just blew through shit, and it just seemed like to me they were setting it up for articles. Like, Matt Reeves says this, Matt Reeves says that, because they're going to just chop it up and use it. And I was just thinking, you go to the source, go to the opinion, Right. So eventually Matt Reeves did come out and did debunk some of this shit. And so we'll just read off the tweets if you haven't seen them yet.
Yeah, before you do, I just want to say I thank God that he decided to do this
so quickly.
Yeah, because I feel like that's something, and Patty Jenkins did touch on it in a previous interview where she was saying that when all the shit was coming out about Wonder Woman, she wanted to tweet, but couldn't, and they were so just consumed with the movie. And I think he's able to, because the movie hasn't quite started production yet,
right?
And so thank God he did, though.
So Matt Reeves queef.
Queef.
Yes. God damn it. That's a quote tweet. Okay? That's what that is. All right. His tweet. I think we just trademarked.
Yeah, according to phrase right here.
Yeah. G. Willikers. No, I'm just kidding. Geez, what I miss, guys. Just to be clear, of course, Batman will be part of the DC universe. Batman will be Batman. In my comments from a while back, because it was a month ago, motherfuckers. I wish you would add that.
Seriously.
About not being part of the DCEU, I was talking about the Batman being a story specifically about Batman. Period. Not about the others in the universe. That it wouldn't be filled with other cameos servicing other stories, that it would be a Batman story, which is, I think, what most people came up to the conclusion was that.
Yeah.
That it just wasn't going to be bound by the universe. It'll probably be a flashback / prequel type setup to kind of beat that continuity back before Man of Steel.
Right.
That's what they'll probably do, like they did with Wonder Woman. That's kind of what I got from it when I heard it. And I think that's what some people got. But then just other people ran with it and demanded that had to be everybody else's opinion.
Right.
And that was my biggest issue with it. And that's the only thing I wanted to talk about was here. It's just that go back to the source material. Find the original article. I do that every time. I don't believe websites that say, well, The Guardian said this, and they take excerpts and make a thing out of it. No, you go back to the source, you find the source, and you read the article or listen, in this case, as a podcast it was, and go from there.
Yeah.
So,
on all that aside, I am kind of disappointed that he wants to focus on just a Batman story because I feel like we've had enough of those. And I was actually looking forward to kind of having a little bit more that's built around the universe, unless we kind of get like Robin, maybe a little bit more Joker, and kind of see where Batman's come along, and why the suit is there and Batman v Superman and stuff like that. That's
what I'm hoping for, is they'll finally actually you make that Easter egg a fucking story like I've been wanting.
Yeah, that would be cool.
You did that twice in fucking 2 movies,
right.
Fucking Suicide Squad and in Batman v Superman. And if they just totally fucking ignore that and make it an Easter egg, I'd be so fucking pissed.
Yeah, seriously. But I took it the same exact way you did, that it was just going to be similar to Wonder Woman, not bound by everything, not that they're completely writing off the DCEU and now it's all in shambles and they're going off on their own. So that was just the one thing that I took from it. Like, oh, that's kind of disappointing. I wish there was some Easter eggs, or something like that. So
I mean, I don't doubt there's going to be maybe some Easter eggs. Maybe you'll hear some, like maybe a Wonder Woman thing because she'll be around at this time still, even if it is a flashback.
Yeah, that's
true. She could be around, so maybe you'll hear about something she did or something. Yeah, possibly.
Yeah,
maybe, but I don't know. By the way, he had the reaction in Batman versus Superman. Maybe he has no fucking clue what the hell she is. So probably not.
Yeah, that could be.
So one last thing I wanted to talk about with some of the clickbait was a quote that Gal Gadot had in Rolling Stone, and she was talking about all the crap going on between like Zack Snyder's vision and tone being ruined by or being fixed in some people's cases by Joss Whedon, that he's flipping everything down, changing the ending of the movie, doing all this shit, and he's going nuts with the movie and blah blah blah. That's the issue, yada yada yada, suck a cock. So Gal Gadot had this quote in the Rolling Stone, and Rolling Stone, by the way, is really hard to take an excerpt from that because they are so biased in their comments that it actually makes taking a direct excerpt from their fucking article, like, it makes it sound so fucking biased. So it was just kind of interesting. So so the part of the article where she said this, it was basically stating, after a family tragedy, director Zack Snyder stepped down, leaving the movie in the hands of the Avengers' Joss Whedon, and rumors of a vast overhaul were all but confirmed. Like, already immediately biased.
Right.
Like, it was just like, it's like all but confirmed by who?
Right.
Tell me who? Because so far, every bit of fucking news that's come out has been completely wrong.
Yeah.
And so tell me how
probably less than 4%.
How is this confirmed? And then, it was all but confirmed when co-star Ben Affleck described the results as, end quote by Ben Affleck, an interesting product of 2 directors. How does that mean it's confirmed? Meaning one director's come in later on and he's just helping it out. So it's going to be a product of 2 directors. Right. Joss Whedon's not even going to get a director's credit from what I understand. As of right now, as I understand, he's not even going to get his director's credit. So how much is he really doing?
He'll just be a producer then?
I'm not quite sure how they're going to do it, but it's up to like the Directors Guild of America or some bullshit like that to see whether or not he puts in enough puts enough stuff in to become a director, to be credited as a director, because they have to do it.
Right.
It's not up to WB or up to anybody else.
Okay.
It's up to this like Guild of America or some Justice Friends or some shit like that.
Justice Friends.
to credit him. And he's so far from the last thing
cool.
I read, whether it even is right, because it's hard to even believe anything at this point.
Pretty much.
But at this point, he is still not credited as a director on this. So I want to know with his mass overhaul and how this is confirmed. He's just talking about his 2 fucking directors doing a movie now. That's it. That's all he was talking about. But it was confirmed that it was a mass overhaul. I mean, you see how they word it. It's just so ridiculous. Yeah. So, and then it goes in, but in true form, Gadot doesn't buy into the controversy because she's on set. I can't imagine why.
Right, exactly.
Because she's actually there, motherfuckers. You're not. And then Gal Gadot look, she says, Joss, to my understanding, was Zach's choice to finish the movie, and the tone can't be completely different because the movie was already shot. Joss is just fine-tuning it.
No.
Really? Like, that's what everybody thought, but then there's a bunch of made-up shit.
Right. And exactly. Well, no, that's what you should have thought.
Yeah.
But people are pulling bullshit out there, and it's the same usual...
Controversy creates cash.
Yeah.
As Eric Bischoff would say.
Yeah, exactly.
Google who that is, 'cause probably you don't know anybody know who that is.
Yeah, it's just... It's crazy. New world order.
Copyright.
Yeah. Now it's gonna get pulled down. But I don't know. It's just be on the lookout for fucking.
Just go enjoy Justice League.
Yeah,
buy your damn tickets
and form your own opinion.
Yeah, and watch the movie.
Right.
Don't listen to Rotten Tomatoes and fucking everything else.
Exactly. Yeah,
I had a derogatory term, but it wasn't going to come out.
All right,
Gay-matos is not it's not the best.
Whatever. So it's the same stuff that we've been saying this entire time. But as Matt was saying, not just with articles, form your own opinion, but with movies as well. And we like to give our opinion, and maybe people can kind of take one side and go, oh, okay, that's a good point, or that's a good point, or yeah, I didn't think about that, or no, these guys are a bunch of idiots, but let me continue to listen to them. Yeah, exactly, because they're a bunch of idiots. But this is all the stuff that we're hearing is exactly what we knew from the very fucking beginning,
right? Through
all of the clickbait. And it blows me away. And just one thing that you can that helps me, I think most of my bullshit radar is pretty high on most websites, even some that I would go to as my source. Superhero Hype being one of them. I'm just gonna throw their fucking name out there, and they're now subscribing to clickbait. Collider. And unfortunately, they're kind of subscribing to it.
Hollywood Reporter, man.
Yeah, Hollywood Reporter. There's so many of them.
I almost wonder. I'm sorry to cut you off there, but I've almost come to the point now where there is somebody. WB or DC has officially now hired somebody to leak shit, to troll the shit out of news agencies to make them look bad. Like that's, I've almost come to that. Like I know that sounds conspiracy as fuck,
but that would be a genius fucking conspiracy.
But I seriously feel like
throw them off our trail.
There's like 2 guys. This is like fucking CIA infiltrator shit and stuff like that. Exactly. Like they get in and they literally just let this information out. And I got a credible source. I'm on sets right now when he's really sitting on the toilet.
Yeah,
and he's like, dude, Ben Affleck doesn't want to play Batman. He's fucking cussing everybody out right now. He pissed all over the suit. He's definitely gone. There's no way. And I feel like there's literally like a little group of people just trolling these shit out of news media.
That would be fucking
I'm going full conspiracy here. I'm going Alex Jones on this. Like fucking full conspiracy. And oh man, the government did it. All right.
Yeah, that would be fantastic. But one thing that will help you sniff out some of the bullshit is if pages, whether it's an Instagram or a website, if they do not post a retract statement, they are fucking full of shit and they are just clickbaiting. Yeah. Because there's so many, even people with like 600,000 followers on Instagram or probably, like Collider, when they put out bullshit. I actually have seen like 1 or 2 things from Collider that was like a retract of like, oh, oops, sorry, we kind of were mistaken on that. But there's so many pages on Instagram that they want you to follow them, and they'll post some clickbait bullshit. They'll get a ton of likes, they'll get a ton of comments because, and then they're going to start showing up again. And then they never post a retract when Matt Reeves comes out, on Twitter and says, this is this, but they are quick to subscribe to the bullshit.
Yeah.
And then, but never go, oh, oops, sorry, we were wrong. We jumped the gun on that. Those are the pages you do not want to follow. Follow Comic Movie Marks that has 2,100 followers.
Use discretion and use your own opinion.
Yes.
Logic and reason, as I put in this thing, logic and reason is on your side.
Yes.
And I put that in our post, and that's all I wanted people to do.
Yeah.
Just logic and reason. That's all you need.
Yeah.
Just your own
Don't believe it.
brain.